The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, the game filled with great story moments and interesting characters. This Zelda has to be one of the best in terms of story. It explains so much, but it also had its flaws. But besides that, it also had certain items, features and other stuff removed from the game for multiple reasons. Some things were buggy, others scratched, some were used for testing, and some just went unused because the plans changed. They even left in some little flaws. So let's take a look, shall we? First up, a strange test room. There's a simple test map in the game. It's just a square room with no ceiling. The floor's patterned with a grass-like texture with Lawn 0 written on it, and the walls with a stone steel texture with Stone 2 written on them. This room contains an actor setup which enables the end credits of the game. Also, F405, which is used for the first cutscene of the Imprisoned, has the same collision as this one. Interesting. This was most likely a room to test out all kinds of things, and apparently also cutscenes, since you can run the end credits, and this place also has the same collision as the first Imprisoned cutscene. So maybe they made a lot of cutscenes using this room, or to just test them out. But we're not completely sure about this. The only hint towards this is the name and the fact that it has the same collision as the first Imprisoned cutscene. Now let's continue. Groose has a punching bag with a drawing of Link's face on it. In the game, that drawing depicts homely Link, with casual clothing. We all know that this is a bit, weird, but apparently this isn't all. There's even more. There's an unused texture for a punching bag drawing depicting Link with his uniform's hood on. It is unlikely that the drawing was meant to be changed mid-story. A placeholder drawing was first made featuring the character they had at the time, until it was later changed to homely Link to fit with the actual storyline.
Now, there is also a test model of a disc, probably belonging to the heart platform in the Tower of Light. Its texture is half of the Triforce symbol, with TEST written on the side. This was probably an early version before it got scrapped. But let's talk about some characters and a very special enemy. Karana has animations for when she's being blown by the gust bellows. But there is a problem with this. You can't use items indoors, and she's only found outdoors before you obtain this item. So this probably means that at some point in the game you could find her out in the open when you have the item. Or you would have gotten the item earlier than you do in the final game. Another possibility is that it is a leftover, as most characters have an animation from being blown by the bellows. So maybe they just gave a standard animation to every character and changed it if needed. Oh, the possibilities. Now for our second one, we're going to look at an even more important character, Demon Lord Ghirahim. In the final battle with Ghirahim, and with the use of hacks, the player can battle him on the spiral area in the sealed grounds. Hanging on an edge will cause Ghirahim to begin an animation in which he shrugs and then proceeds to step on Link's hands, causing him to fall. Interesting. Would this mean that the fight with him was different in a certain point of the development? Well, it most likely does, since they wouldn't make such an animation if it wasn't needed. But in what way would it be different then? Maybe you would fight him in the spiral area as well. Maybe you would eventually teleport to a platform to fight on. Or maybe you were supposed to lure him up and throw him off the edge to damage him, which then was replaced as it wasn't obvious enough. But this is all just speculation, since we have no idea what they wanted to do with it or why they scrapped it. Oh, and do you remember this little fellow here? You might have fought him once, or twice, or 3 times. Nintendo liked him so much, they even left his complete beta model on the disc. His scales are made of a lot of little 2D planes that read sample texture. But if you look underneath them, you will notice that the scales were planned from the beginning on. Now, Nintendo also makes mistakes sometimes, just like anyone else, and there are actually a number of little flaws they just forgot about in this game. There are things like chests, bird statues, and doors in places that unreachable. They probably forgot about them as they were redesigning the areas. First, some chests, and they actually have something in it. The first one is outside of Karana's room. From the center of the room, it's after the wall towards the bed, and it contains a piece of heart. Another one is outside the Lumpy Pumpkin's main hall. It can be seen if the player walks into the dresser and keeps going. It's on the right side of the map. This one also contains a heart piece. The third one is outside the Fire Dragon room's walls. From the platform where you talk to the dragon, if you go forward and a bit to the left, there will be a poorly made room with a chest. It's on the top right of the map. This one contains the goddess harp, but there is no text.
Now, for some bird statues. In the sealed grounds area, fiddle around outside a bit and you'll see a bird statue. Going to the sky will send you to the flooded Faron Woods area. But there are even doors out of bounds that actually take you to places. In the entrance to Faron Woods, there's a door where the Temple of Time's front entrance would be. Going in it will send you to the sealed grounds. So as you can see, these chests, doors and statues are a bit weird and buggy at times. Some of them really confuse us. Is Skyward Sword perfect? No, certainly not. But it went through its phases and the end result is pretty good. But looking at the things that they removed makes me wonder, what was the actual plan? Thanks for watching everybody, I hope you enjoyed. If you want to watch more, click the annotations on the screen right now. And I hope that you had a wonderful day.